Top diplomats from the Middle East and Europe have gathered in the Saudi Arabian capital, Riyadh, to chart a future course for Syria, more than a month after Bashar al-Assad was ousted from power. They're discussing the easing of sanctions and other measures to promote stability.
Regional and Western officials have met in Riyadh to address the complex challenge of building a future for Syria. More than 500,000 people were killed in over a decade of brutal civil war. Millions were forced to flee and the economy was devastated. Germany is leading a push for the European Union to ease sanctions to support reconstruction and smooth the political transition. German Foreign Minister Annalena Baerbock insists any lifting of sanctions must be matched with progress on safeguarding minority and women's rights.
Sanctions against Assad's henchmen, who committed serious crimes during the civil war, must remain in place. But Germany proposes to take a smart approach to sanctions, providing repeat relief for the Syrian population. Syrians now need a quick dividend from the transition of power.
Baerbock went on to announce an additional €50 million in German aid. Western powers, including the United States and the EU, imposed sanctions on Assad's government over his crackdown on anti-government protests in 2011 that triggered civil war. Syria's new leader, Ahmed al-Sharaa, whose Islamist militant group HTS led the rebel alliance that overthrew Assad, is pushing for sanctions relief. Earlier this month, Washington granted a 6-month exemption from sanctions on transactions with Syrian government institutions. The EU is cautious about Sharaa. While the former ISIS fighter has indicated his support for creating an inclusive government, his group has a poor human rights record from its time running Idlib in the northwest of Syria. Baerbock and her French counterpart, Jean-Noël Barrot, visited Syria this month, making them the first EU ministers to do so since Assad's ouster. Meeting the leaders, Sharaa avoided a handshake with Baerbock. While Baerbock downplayed the incident, it did lead to concerns about the transition.